Hey, everybody, and thanks for listening to the Kick Your Boots Up podcast. As always, like, subscribe, share this with your friends. Comment below what you want to see. You like it, don't like it, tell us. We want to hear it all. We are joined today by an iconic brand, Circle Y Saddlery, and they have a story to tell. I love the connection there that it's a Texas brand, Justin as well as a Texas brand, and so we have a lot to learn. But before we learn about the company, we've got to get to know the people first. So to my right, we have Jill Holloman, and she's an account manager at Circle Y. Jill, how long have you been with Circle Y?
I've been with them 13 and a half years.
Okay, wow. Yeah, we're going to have to dive deep into that one. That's
we'll
awesome,
dive
Jill.
in.
And then Scott McClaugherty. Scott, thank you for being on the podcast. A decision to hop in today. And how long have you been with the company that you're with?
I've been with Casper Companies for 25 years.
Wow. Okay, so together, this is a powerhouse. We have so much to talk about there. And I think let's just get started with you, Scott. Tell us about how you got to where you are today. Talk us through the 25 years of Casper and how you've gotten here.
Yeah, so it started, Casper Companies is a family-owned and operated business based in Shiner, Texas. We've been in operation since 1898.
Wow.
So we're now in the 5th generation of management for the business. If you go back to the very beginning, Casper Companies started when barbed wire came to Texas.
Okay, that's a fun fact.
Yeah, the smooth wire was being taken down, so the founder of the company started making corn shuck baskets, horse muzzles, things of that nature, and started selling them. And kind of fast forward through the years, developed the first wire shopping cart. So what you use at your grocery store was developed at Casper Companies.
Okay, that's going to be a quiz at the end of this.
Yes.
Who invented and developed the first wire shopping cart?
There you go.
Okay,
And then,
Casper Industries.
So through that, you'll find we're innovators.
Yeah.
Typically in problem solvers. You fast forward a few years beyond that, developed the coin-operated mechanism for newspaper stands. And we owned 90% of the newspaper stand business in North America throughout the years. And then
In Little Shiner, Texas.
yeah, Shiner,
mind you.
Texas, a town of 2,000 people.
So home of Shiner Beer.
Home of
Yes.
Shiner Beer. We're right across the street.
Okay,
from them.
wow.
And then how I got involved with the business, Casper Companies owned ranch hand truck accessories for 20-something years.
Wow.
So I
didn't know
worked in that area, in that part of the business for, about 18 years. And then, we have several other subsidiaries that I'm involved with the business. We had the opportunity to buy Circle Y in August of last year. So we acquired Circle Y and really excited to, have Circle Y as part of Casper Companies.
Oh, yes. That is a huge win for you guys.
Yes.
I know as a fan of Circle Y saddles myself, it's very big. So Jill, kind of fill in the gaps there with Circle Y. I mean, tell us about your beginnings in 1960s?
Yeah, so I didn't start in 1960.
No, you didn't.
Circle Y was started in 1960 by a man of his last name Story, and his family started this little saddle company, and it blossomed into Circle Y and has been in Yoakum, Texas the whole time. The nice thing about Casper is they're 9 miles from us, so it wasn't like
I didn't
it's a
realize
big, yeah. So we're really
that.
close,
Okay.
and most of all the employees know each other, so it makes it really family. But
That's nice.
it's been a family business for almost 65 years, and so we do saddles, we do all of the accessories for horses, and we've really strive to fill all the gaps of where everybody needs. So we're really strong in trail, we're strong in barrel, we build great ranch and rope saddles, and any shape, size human, any size, shape, and horse, we cover all of that, and we build beautiful products. We have really great craftsmen right there, and Yoakum used to be known as the leather capital of the world, and that's where there was all the saddle companies were down there, and
Wow.
now it's basically us and one other that are still there.
Going.
Yeah, and we're very dominant. I can proudly say we are the #1 saddle company in the world as far as volume.
Yes, you are.
We build thousands of saddles a year. We sell all over the world. We have accounts in Australia, Europe, all over the place. So we're a big deal.
You are a big deal.
We are a
And
big deal.
There's a few things that I learned when I was a little girl about Circle Y. One of them was one of my first barrel saddles was a Martha Josie saddle.
Absolutely.
And so you've been able to have over the years partnerships with Martha Josie, Sharon Camarillo.
Yeah.
I'm just going to look here really quick because Kelly Kaminsky, that was another legend that I grew up
Yes.
listening to her name. Yeah, Clay Tryon.
Yes.
Huge team
Yes.
roping, because that just shows right there that you can do it all.
Exactly.
Breakaway roping, you can help everything with the cowgirls, but then also help the cowboys, and probably
Absolutely.
more team rope. You probably sell more team roping saddles. No,
we're getting her in there.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
I mean, clay's really helping us, and
Yeah.
we sell a lot of the just non-name ones, Circle Y roping saddles that we
Yes.
sell a lot to stores for that entry-level price point for the weekend roper. And now we're starting to get more into the really elite roping and the ranch saddles. That's our next little hurdle.
Hey,
so
that's
we're doing
good.
that.
No,
Yeah.
that's so good.
Yes.
We have one of our founders or one of our higher ups executives says crawl, walk, run. And I think
Yes.
that's so true. Like the
Exactly.
businesses in any business, crawl.
Yeah.
You got to crawl first, get master it and stuff. Okay, so the second part of Circle Y, how I have grown to love you guys was I was a rodeo queen. Anyone who's listened, they know that out there.
Yes.
I've talked about my trauma. No, I'm just kidding. No, but Circle Y Saddles is a sponsor for Miss Rodeo America, and Justin is a sponsor of Miss Rodeo America. So that's so cool
Look at
how
that.
the worlds are coming together.
Yes.
I'm thinking this is so awesome.
Yes, we do the Circle Y does the saddles for the Queen contest for Miss Rodeo America. And so the award saddle is ours, and then we also do the saddles that they do the horsemanship in. So they switch horses and they can't ride in their own equipment, so they all ride in our saddles, and
Which is huge.
yes, and we never come home with any. The queens always buy the saddles, so that's
Which
a
is
good
great.
sign.
It really is. It's kind of a win-win for you
Yes.
guys. You can almost know going into it, yeah, we're going to give this to you guys, but we're probably going to make money along the way.
Exactly.
And honestly, that just goes to show how reputable you guys are and how good your fit is. I think we need to spend just a second talking about that because there's, even on your website, which I love, by the way, that you guys broke down the myths of saddle fits for horses because a lot of people think that the saddle needs to fit a little bit further on the withers, or they think even further back. I've seen some of that. So talk about the fit and how perfect or important it is for getting the perfect fit for your horse, which makes everything collide together, go together.
Okay. Well, I'm going to squash one myth right now. There is no standard in the saddle tree business. So if you go buy tires, you could go buy a 195, 215, whatever. It's the same size and shape and measurement in every tire company. In saddle companies, there is no standard. So for you to say I need a wide tree, it won't fit the same in other brands as it will, and even within the Circle Y brand because of the discipline. So a wide trail saddle is going to fit differently than a wide barrel saddle versus a wide ranch saddle. Yes, because of where it fits on the horse and how it's meant to sit, and for the discipline it is. So barrel racers, we want to sit deep, but we want to be able to get forward and get back. Team ropers want to stay right in the middle of their horse, so they're sitting on a wider, more close contact saddle. So those bar angles are going to be different. So what you do is don't make it rocket science. Too many people make it rocket science. They get too far in the weeds and they watch too much stuff on YouTube. So I'm going to make it very simple for everybody right now. Put it on your horse's back without a pad. Put your hand up underneath there and feel where it's tight and where it's sitting. Step back. See if there's any gaps under there where it's bridging, which is where it's making contact in two different spots and not making contact through the whole bars.
You want it the whole?
You want the whole bars.
Okay.
So if these are the bars, you want that to make as much contact as possible. If it's bridging, it could be sitting right here on the bar and right here, and you can stick your hand under there. That's causing pain points on the horse's back. That could be a pad issue where you could just pad and solve that problem, or that saddle isn't for that horse. Then step back and make sure, is it sitting level on your horse? It's not tipping down in the front, which means typically it's too wide. So it's like a big hat and it's sitting way down. You want it to sit in that sweet spot. If it's tipped up in the front, it's too narrow. Or if it won't sit down on either side, it's too narrow. So it's just sitting in the wrong spot of the rib cage. You want to get as close to perfect as you can. It will never be perfect. And then you also take into account how much do you ride. If you're only riding for 30 minutes and you're just walking around the pasture and checking cows, the fit doesn't have to be perfect because your horse, you're only up there so long. It's not going to, it's like women, and you'll understand. High heels, you can stand to be in high heels for a couple hours. They are the most uncomfortable shoes. Yes, 30 minutes and you're out. If you're going to sit most of the day, you can wear high heels. Same thing goes with a saddle. It doesn't have to be a perfect fit. I get parents all the time, this saddle doesn't fit my kid's horse. Your kid weighs 40 pounds and he's riding him for 20 minutes. That horse doesn't even know he's up there. And I'm not saying you don't a bad fit, but get it as close as possible. And there is a life expectancy on your saddle pad. I know that breaks a lot of people's hearts.
There are my dad out there, there are some people that are getting hurt by this. So that's good.
Most saddle pads are dog beds after 2 years, and some of them even sooner than that. There are people that said, this pad's only 8 years old. The sweat and the dirt and the horsehair that gets built in there makes hard, crusty dirt clods in your saddle pad, and you can't wash it out. The wool has broke down, or the padding material is broke down, and you don't wear socks that are 8 and 9 years old. So don't put them on your horse's back. So there's a lot of that plays in. Another thing to take into consideration is there's 4 seasons. In Texas, we only have 1, 2, maybe.
You're right.
But
And
most
sometimes
of the
football
others,
season.
Yes, and football season.
In the same day.
In the same day, yes. We may have fall, winter, and spring all in the same day.
Yes.
Your horse's body and conformation changes with the seasons. In the winter, they get a little fatter. They put an extra hair coat on,
We
which
can't relate to
changes the
that.
shape. Yeah, right here. I winter well. And your horse's conformation. So you might go to a thinner pad in the winter because he's plumped up a little bit. So your saddle's going to sit a little tighter. In the summer, when they're sleek and they've shed off their hair, your saddle's going to fit a little bigger. So you could go with a little thicker pad. Typically, a 3/4 inch pad is all you ever need. If you're team roping, please don't use 2 1-inch pads because that's way too much and you're changing the conformation of your horse's back.
Wow.
So the biggest scenario I can give people to make it simple is think of your foot in your boot. If your boot fits great on your foot, why would you put 2 pairs of socks? It doesn't make
You're
your foot
right.
more comfortable in there. It makes it crammed in the hole, and it's more squished and pinching, and your foot's conformation has changed so much now. With 2 pairs of socks, the boots don't fit anymore. If your saddle's fitting tight, I hear people all the time saying, I'm going to put 2 pads on, or a really thick 1.5-inch pad because I want more padding. Well, all you've done is changed his conformation. The saddle fits horribly. I'd rather you be in a 1/2-inch pad if it's tight than,
Yeah.
So find a good dense pad, Rainsman, and 3/4 inch is perfect.
I feel so, you've opened my eyes, and I've ridden my whole life. I never even, of course we changed our pads, but I didn't know the reason. I was just like, okay, we're going to do this.
Yeah.
That is so
You
cool.
did mention something else too about sitting it on the horse's back. And I see
Yes.
this a lot. People will either put it too far forward or too far back. And then when they put it so far back, it falls in the hole behind the shoulder blade. And they're like, see, my saddle doesn't fit. Well, when you stand back and look where your rigging is hanging, it should be about 1 hand behind the elbow on the to the cinch. So if it's clear
Yes.
back here, your rigging, you can't cinch your horse up. It's going to be sitting like this because your cinch is too far back. And they try
Awkward.
and pull it forward, and so your rigging should hang right there. That's one of the signs of where should my saddle fit on the horse's back with his conformation.
And you're so knowledgeable. So this might be a hot take. So forgive me if I am backing you in a corner. We can totally skip it. But I feel like in counseling, bear with me. In counseling, they say our job is to like get you out of counseling because we want you to be better and stuff. For you guys, your job is probably to not have horses in therapy or chiropractic therapy
Yes.
or aqua or whatever.
Yes.
Because you want their conformation to be good.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah. And so we build saddles to fit 90% of the horses out there, the general public. And we also build different trees. We build trees for foundation bred. So if your horse is that real round flat back, we make trees for that. We also make trees for the walking horses that have the real short back, high withered, or real round rib cage. So we make we make the gated trees. Then we make, everything else is based on quarter horse bars, but that doesn't mean that only fits quarter horses. So you just have to look at your horse's back. We make mule trees to fit mules. So there's different reasons for all of that, but we try and take all the guesswork out of it. And so you as a consumer cannot stress about it. We deal a lot with customers who make too much out of it and they stress so much about it that they're not even having fun now. They're so afraid they're hurting their horse. And I will go do saddle fits and push on their back, and there's no sore spots on your horse's back.
fine.
You're good. Pad a little different, maybe buy a new pad. And there's still times you have to shim because
Okay.
your horse may have a little abnormal. None of us are symmetrical on both sides of our bodies, and that same goes with horses. I have 2 feet that are 2 different sizes. I don't go buy 2 different size shoes. I find the pair that fits the best between the 2, and I live with it.
Meet in the middle.
Meet in the middle, yeah.
Yeah.
And you'll find horses that might need a little thicker pad on this side than this side. And it's, just use common sense and think, I'm trying to make these 2 bars that run down the horse's back
Yes.
make the most contact for the most comfort, and then go from there.
And one thing that you mentioned, which I know and you know, we all know what a saddle tree is, but some people out there might not.
Yeah.
So I know that it's a tree because it's made out of wood. But tell me a little bit about the history of a tree. Tell me about a saddle tree.
Okay.
Pretend I don't know.
Okay. So saddle trees are mostly made out of wood, and they'll have, and sometimes they'll only have like a wood cantle and a wood pommel. The horns are typically metal, not leather. They're wrapped in leather. And then we wrap our trees in either fiberglass, or we call it Durahide, or we also wrap most of our performance saddles in Kevlar, which is super strong. So all the strength is in the Kevlar, not the wood. When it's fiberglass, then you use a heavier wood, so that gives you the strength in the wood versus the fiberglass. Fiberglass is really strong too, but the Kevlar makes it super strong. And with those trees, we can offer a lifetime warranty on the tree.
Oh, wow.
The other ones, we offer a 10-year warranty, so we have a really good warranty program with our trees. But it's basically the frame that holds the whole saddle together, like the frame in your truck. So, in your truck, you have the frame, the chassis, and all that your comfy seats and your stereo is attached to. It makes the whole truck ride.
Yeah.
And then we also make flex trees. I'm going to be confident again and say that we probably make the best flex tree in the world. Everybody's tried to copy us.
You can claim it.
I'm claiming
yours.
it. Yes.
Yes. You heard it here first.
You heard it here first. And it basically, people think the flex is like a treeless. It's not. And it basically works like leaf springs in your truck. So at neutral, it's not flexing.
I never thought about it like that.
But as your horse, if you picture a barrel horse running into a turn, they're going to arc their whole body. The front of the bars and the back of the bars are just going to give slightly and just give that release, with still having a solid top half where it's making contact on the horse, so it's not flopping around. I hear a lot of people say, I don't want that because it's treeless. No, it has a solid tree in it. It's the lower bars flex slightly. And for us, it's very popular in some of our barrel saddles, which makes perfect sense, and our trail saddles.
Which is interesting, but probably for the more movement,
the
bigger
movement,
reach.
They're going up and down the hills and stuff like that, and the comfort, because trail riders tend to ride longer than, say, a barrel racer's maybe an hour. And then the trail riders could be all day, the sack lunch, so it's a little more comfortable. And then we make a treeless saddle that's the best treeless on the market. Treeless. Yes. So it has a solid wood front and a solid wood back, and then it's neoprene skirts, so you have no bars. And they're great for fitting. It still has to fit the horse because of the cantle, and the wood parts still have to fit, but generally it takes a lot of the fit issues out because you're not fitting the bar spread.
Okay, so when in doubt, if you can't get a saddle to fit right, maybe treeless is something.
Yeah, you could give it a try. And we have stores all over the country that you could go try them, and go to any barrel race. There's treeless everywhere.
Oh my gosh!
And just try a Circle Y one and throw it on there, and then you can order you one.
Okay, and right online too, right?
Right online, yeah. You can order online, or we'll lead you to. We have a locator in there, and you can go to stores, and they do saddle fits as well at stores, and you take your horses there.
I can't tell you how many times I've pulled up to retailers in the area, and there's a horse that was in the trailer that they're now getting out to size. So I'm like, heck yes, that is the best. Bring your horse to the store.
Yeah, a lot of the stores have really knowledgeable people that can help you with, and everybody wants to make it. They try and keep it simple. The biggest advice I could give anybody is don't make it too complicated. Go back to common sense and go, wait, what's my objective? I want the bars to fit this horse. When you start making it too complicated, nothing will fit. And I will tell you that. And you'll worry so much. So we talk a lot of people down off of the cliff going, you're going to be okay.
Yeah.
Your horse is not impossible to fit. And some of them I've seen just need to pull a plow. They'll never fit, they're just not meant to ride, but it's okay.
That's okay. Yeah. And for you're very knowledgeable on the saddle side, on Circle Y, but then also you're a barrel racer too. So tell us about that. Your experience. You said you just started up.
Well,
I
started back up. So I ran from 11 years old up until I was 40, and I'm only 39.95 right now. So there's that.
21.
And I took 10 or 12 years off because work was just busy and crazy, and they were just standing in the pasture. So I sold everything, trailer, went to a car, everything.
Whoa.
Started working.
Identity crisis.
I know. I'm like, started working for Circle Y, and I thought, well, if I ever get back into it, I know where I can get a saddle. So I just let it all go. I kind of just needed a break. And during COVID, I was doing a whole lot of sitting home. And I was like, I kind of want to get back into it. So Santa Claus got me a gift certificate.
Thank you, Santa.
To go. Yes. Gave me a budget. And we went and found a diamond in the rough. And so I started running again 3 years ago. And the last couple of years has just been chaotic, so I haven't really ran. But this year, my New Year's resolution was I was going to start running again. So I've been hitting some jackpots and not as young as I used to be, but we're doing all right. So
that's okay too.
Yes, I'm at least doing it. And I will say that because it takes a lot to get back. And I talk to a lot of older women that are getting back into it. It's kind of funny after the kids are raised, they're like, I'm getting back into it. And we have
Good
our own
for
little
you.
mom group that we keep everybody, okay, you can do this. And we cheer each other on. I'm in a lot of senior races and it's a good time because there's no kids there. No offense, kids, but it's a good time.
You feel like you have a shot.
Yes.
Yeah, and Texas
Yes.
too.
Oh,
I was in Oklahoma, and I always heard how tough Texas is. So even if you feel like you have a good run, you could not even make the money, you know?
Yeah, no, and everything's, it's been going good and I'm getting better every run and I'm setting my personal goals and everything's going good. So I'm happy with that. And I'm meeting so many nice people out there too. And so it's been fun to get back with that camaraderie and,
Yeah.
and meeting people in the industry, like just getting with this group at Casper
Scott,
and
yeah.
the opening the doors of meeting all these other people. And, now with the new hire over here and getting to work with you guys and all the
Yes.
opportunities. I just really love where I'm at in my life and where the industry is in it. It's everybody wants to be a cowboy and here we are. And, everybody put your boots on. I don't care if you have a horse or not. Let's all
Right.
get back to being country.
Yeah, make it country again. And
Yeah.
you're exactly right. Spot on. I'm so glad you said that because it does. It feels like everyone is going back to country. Zach Top, have you heard of him? Is that his name? Zach Top?
The other day, my husband said, have you heard this kid? And he sounds like
George Strait.
George
Or
Strait,
like a-
vintage country, like what we're
Yes.
needing. Yeah,
Exactly.
He's
And I
good.
think that's so good. Like, especially with we have Jenna Paulette, Lainey Wilson, so many people that are really core 90s Western country. I'm like, thank you. This is a time to be
Yes.
alive. You know, us that were born in the 90s, we can say that we've been a part of the 90s country and now the 2024 country.
Exactly.
Is
Yeah.
that a
It's the
thing? Should we
new
make that a
old
thing?
country. Yes. We're bringing it back.
Yes, Yeah.
You're bringing back old boots from when I was in
Okay, let's talk about that.
So
Ropers.
lace-ups over
the
there.
Lacers. Yes. Look at that. I'm like, wow, good job, guys.
And I don't know if I can say this, so they might bleep me out for this, but we're coming with men's lacers, which
Look
is
at
like,
that.
that's exactly how it started.
Yes.
So that's exciting.
vintage. Here
Yeah.
comes the lawman jeans in the Rocky Mountains.
Yes,
No
the
back pockets.
high-waisted,
Yep. The high waisted.
multiple buttons in the front for the yes.
Really long jacket zippers for us. But yeah. It's coming back. Hey,
The
bring
times.
it. I'm excited. So
Well, I have loved this time, and I guess before we go, I can't help but ask you, since you're restarting into the Western industry. Well, you're not restarting in the Western, restarting into barrel racing.
Yes.
What is your best piece of advice for someone? Because I know there's a lot of us out there that had to take a break during college. We're getting our careers started. Who knows? We're even switching careers. Whatever it is, what's your best advice for someone wanting to get back at it?
well, I just say if the opportunity's right, go for it.
Yeah.
Because you're never going to do it if you just keep saying, if this happens, I will. Find the can if. This one taught me can if. So, make it happen. I got my horse and then I rode her for the first year and didn't even leave the house because I was
Okay.
terrified. The next year, I didn't go anywhere, but I hauled her to the vet and to the shoer. That was the only time I used my trailer. And now that I'm back in it, just like I said, the camaraderie and just being in the saddle. Some of my days are so stressed. I come home and it might be 8:30 at night and I've got 15 minutes till dark to get on and just go lope some circles or just walk around. It is to be around a horse.
We can have a
Hello.
whole episode about that.
I know, right? And just to be in this industry in that level is just so wonderful. And it's, I mean, I just keep going back to the camaraderie. The other night I was at a barrel race and stood in line waiting for my awards. Yeah, it sounds like I'm braggy, but it was, but I stood and talked to this lady and she was in the same boat as me. She took 20 years off to have kids and do all that. And now she's back running and she goes, I just love being back. I'm not as worried about things. It's just get back into it and don't wait. Don't do it if you're not financially ready because it's
True.
a bunch to bite off, I will say.
It
We
is.
were just talking about that. He's got a daughter going to college, rodeoing, and they're expensive dogs. So
They really are.
but if the opportunity's there, take it because this industry and being gone, the new things that are out there for you in this industry now makes things easier, better fits, better, more education. people get down the rabbit hole on bits. There's so much more education out there about what bit to use, and it's just easier this time around for people, I think, if you get back into it.
If you just do
don't-
it, follow your gut, whatever. That is the best advice.
Yep.
And have
Truly.
fun.
And have
That's the most
fun. That's what
important
I'm
part.
doing.
Have
I'm
fun.
going just having a good time. I come down the alley and I'm like, well, take care of me, Lord. And I just go for it. And I come out and I went, oh, that was so much fun. I want to go again.
Oh,
So,
good.
you know, that's what you got to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how
You're
it should
right.
be.
Have fun.
You got to remember that sometimes. It's hard.
With
The
everything you do.
Yes, everything you do. Yeah. Have fun. We have fun at work. We have fun.
Okay, I've heard that. Diana said, very good people, fun people. I love that. I'm so happy for you guys.
We're a fun time.
The merger. When did the merger happen? Or with the
Last
It was 1
August.
year ago.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh
yeah,
my
it
goodness.
was. Like
1
almost
year.
on the button. Yeah.
Wow. Okay, so future plans. What do you, without telling
Oh.
it too much, what do you have
The
in the
future's
works?
bright.
It is
Yeah.
bright.
We've taken the first year to really, embrace the business and, merge the two cultures. The future's very bright. We've got some fun things coming from a product side, from a branding perspective. We have some ambitious growth goals for the company. So,
Yes.
we're really excited. And for us, the one thing we like, like Jill said, just the people. The people in the industry are so much fun, and they're genuine.
Yeah.
So, and that's one of the biggest things we like about it.
Yeah.
And that is honestly refreshing because if you go to other industries that are so cutthroat and competitive and nasty, it's a breath of fresh air to realize at the end of the day, no matter what we sell, no matter who we're competitors with, we're still humans. And I think
Exactly.
people, appreciate that more in the Western industry.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
this morning you had 3 different vendors helping another vendor. Their whole booth fell down. And 3 different competitors, literally competitors, we were all up there helping put their booth together.
Oh.
So it was, that's the camaraderie.
Yeah.
That is
So-
that right there, alongside rodeo competitors. Rodeo competitors travel all the time against their most competitive
Yeah.
partner, but they help each other out. And
Yeah. You're broke
Absolutely.
down, jump in, put them in my trailer.
You
take
forgot
it,
your
go.
gear bag. Here's
Yeah.
mine.
Yeah, absolutely.
You
And
forgot
that's-
your saddle. Here's the saddle.
Yeah,
Here you go.
Let me hook you up.
Well,
So-
this conversation has been so fun, and I'm sure we can have another conversation down the line of just everything that you have going forward and everything big. But I do appreciate you guys taking the time out of your
thanks
busy
for having
schedules
us.
here
Yes.
to be on the Kick Your Boots Up podcast.
Yes, thanks for
Awesome.
having
Thanks
us.
for having us.
Of course. And if you guys are interested in following Circle Y on social media, they're on Instagram and Facebook primarily are the 2 ones you're going to want to reach out to. So on Instagram, you can find them at Circle Y Saddles, and Facebook, same thing, Circle Y Saddles. Thank you so much for listening to their story. If you liked what you heard, go follow them, first of all, but also like, subscribe, share this with your friends, tell everyone about it. If you have questions about how your saddle should fit or maybe something that you're having a problem with your horse and saddle, feel free to comment below. We can pass those questions along, and I know they'll be happy to answer them. So thanks for joining us on the Kick Your Boots Up podcast. Thanks for joining us on Kick Your Boots Up. I'm your host, Taylor McAdams, and we can't wait to share the next story of the West. Until then, feel free to like, subscribe, and leave us a review. Follow us on social media at Justin Boots to keep up with our next episode. And we'll see you the next time you kick your boots up.